of these wonderful, elegant, fabulous photos that we are watching now were taken by our guest, the unique photographer, عمرو El-Kady. He made an entry to the field of photography years back, although his main specialization is dentistry. But he discovered his talent as a photographer, and he took part in several exhibitions and got awarded several certificates and awards from different countries, from Egypt, from Berlin, from Sweden, from Paris. And even he had his own sign or his fingerprint in photography, in imprint, largely in Egypt, to the extent of which that you needn't see his signature printed on one of his photos, but you would know right away that the photographer is عمرو El-Kady. So let us hear from him, or Dr. عمرو El-Kady, from his story of success and how he started it.
First of all, dentistry and photography, both are art. Different types of art, but they are closely related to each other. Both of them need an art and need a quiet vision. Dealing with pain in dentistry and working a lot of time in a closed area makes you always under pressure. So photography allows me to go outside and to see the real world, and to go to photograph landscape and go to a very nice place. I learn a lot from photography tutorials in YouTube, and frequent travels to photography trips that improve my skills, and also taking some courses in photography allows me to take a special type of photography regarding landscape and photography and documentary photography. Always at the weekend, and recently I work the whole month except 4 or 5 days at the end of the month, and I go to travel and go for photography for those 2 or 3 days.
One of the most important exhibitions which photographer عمرو El-Kady took part in was held in the Great Cairo Library, as he was the only exhibited solo there, and he exhibited a large number of photos, around 160 photos, and this was considered a great achievement for him.
One of the most important local photo exhibitions, it was in Great Cairo Library. It was 2016 to 2016. It almost about 160 photos. It covers all parts of Egypt, and it was under supervision of Ministry of Tourism, and the sold photos, the whole income for the sold photos are go to Tahrir. Collect these photos through my years of photography. Too many years I was a photographer too many years, so I got my this collection.
The flower festival in Orman Garden in Egypt is considered one of the most fabulous events in Egypt. As we see in it large and rare numbers of flowers. Photographer El-Kady was there, and he has his own collections of photos, and there was a very important exhibition in Orman Garden and he took part in it.
You know, I'm an admin for a group in the Facebook called WhatsApp and Photography and Video. And we did a lot of photography exhibition, mainly for exhibitions, annual, every year. We almost 8,000 photographers, amateur or professional photographers. And usually we collect ourselves once a year and make a great exhibition. The last one, it was in this April. It was in Orman Garden for the event of flower festival in Orman Garden this year, and it was did by a company which is organizing the event of the Orman Garden.
One of the most important exhibitions photographer El-Kady took part in is in Berlin in the year 2016.
It was in 2016, and in Berlin in ITB. ITB is the annual largest event for the whole tourist companies from around the world. Here in the Ministry of Tourism invited me to share with my picture photo collection about Egypt for this event. It lasted about 5 days, and it was a very nice event and a great chance to share such a great event.
After only 2 years, photographer El-Kady was invited to exhibit again in Berlin, but in the year 2018, and it was a great one, as his imprints printed his photos also for the first time on papyrus.
This exhibition 2018 is very good exhibition. I was invited by Egyptian Culture Center in Berlin to display my photo exhibition in the Egyptian Embassy. And this event, for the first time in photography history, I print my photos digitally on real papyrus. That gives an idea about the depth of pictures from Egypt. And a lot of visitors in this event. Also 7 ambassadors from different countries visit this exhibition. And by the way, the picture is still displaying on the Egyptian Embassy until now. Everything about Egypt. For me, it's mainly landscape, and for other photographers, including my son, it was street photography. That's it. We are displaying almost 45 photos. This is not the only event we share, me and Sis, my son, sharing the same event. He always with me, and he is my friend in photography trip. We always travel together and take pictures together and make an event together. I'm very proud of him.
Moving to another country, photographer El-Kady was invited to exhibit in Sweden.
Yeah, so this exhibition, it was 2018. It was in April. I invited with 4 other photographers to do a photo gallery in Stockholm, in the embassy of Egyptian embassy in Stockholm. One of the photographers displaying the photos is my son, Saif, my son. Its name I in Egypt, and I went to Stockholm and met the ambassador of Egyptian ambassador, Mr. Al-Hijazi. He was very welcoming and did a very great job in displaying the photos in the embassy. And I participated with 13 photos. And the ambassador is very welcoming, and he invited us for dinner at his residence at the end of the event. It was a very nice chance to visit Stockholm and see the culture there, and I was very happy and grateful for the people I work with.
After photographer El-Kady finished his exhibition in Sweden, the Egyptian Cultural Center in Paris invited him to be there with his fabulous photos.
After I finished the exhibition in Stockholm, I went to Paris. Egyptian Culture Center in Paris invited me and 2 other photographers. Most of the subjects are the same. It's, from Egypt, but with a different location or different points of view to Egypt. In Paris, it was the hidden gems of Egypt, the Sahara. You know, especially French people are fond of our Egyptian Sahara. So in Berlin, they are found with landscape and Athar architecture of Egypt. I am the only Egyptian photographer for the Foreign Press Association in Cairo. And I work also as a freelance photographer for too many foreign press. And I am a freelance photographer for Der Spiegel magazine, the German magazine, the famous version, the German magazine. I work with the Foreign Press Association from the start of the Egyptian Revolution at 2011. And we cover every part of the revolution. My work in Foreign Press Association, it gives me a chance to see what type of photo I like. So I like photo to document the action and to freeze the moment.
As photographer Amr El-Kady traveled to many places in Egypt, especially in Sinai. He has hundreds of photos about it, and he collected them in a book of about 750 pages, and he spent 6 years to finish that book.
I visited Sinai too many times, many times, from early 80s. But I never visited St. Catherine. Once I visited at 2009, I discovered a new place, an historical place. I can't imagine such a beauty in Egypt. So I start to document by my photo every part of the area. After a while, I discover I have a lot of data. So I try to collect them in one book. And I spent 6 years to make this book. Every month, 3 or 4 days visiting the area, walking in its valleys and climbing the mountains and visiting the monastery of St. Catherine. In the middle of preparing my book, I discovered I walk in the same direction as Naum Bek Shukir at 1906. He wrote a book, its name History of Sinai. I discovered myself walking in the same route as he did. But he wrote it, and there is no camera at this time. And I discovered a lot of things he wrote about it doesn't exist now. Maybe stolen, maybe anything doesn't exist right now. So I decided to make this book by picture. So after 100 years, we know this place it was here. And I collected the data, and I made the book is almost 620 pages. It contains more than 1,200 colored photos. The foreword of the book is written by Dr. Zahir Hawass and Mr. Adli Mansour, ex-president. And I hope this book can publish soon. My motto is always to explore a new places and go to a places where nobody visited before. to take a picture for these places and document it.
Standing behind any successful person, many characters and situations, especially people who push him and support him. And photographer El-Kady has a large number of supporters in his life.
Always my wife and my family, they encourage me to go forward for the best photos. And also Mr. Ben Folkhard, the chairman of Arab Press Association, he taught me how to take a good picture.
As photographer El-Kady is fond of photography, he tried to do something new, so he collected a large number of photos and made a short documentary film.
To cover all parts of Egypt and make, as I did in St. Catherine's book, to let the people all over the world to see how beautiful our country.
We join photographer El-Kady in this episode. And we enjoyed his fabulous photos and his work and his film. And his exhibitions: Berlin, Sweden, Paris, Egypt. And how he could make or succeed making the combination between photography and his original work as dentistry, and how he could put his imprints in photography and be one of the most well-known photographers in Egypt still. Is in a story of success.